I never thought a simple escrow job in the vast expanses of Montana would turn my world upside down. But here I am, staring at the flickering screen in my cramped office at Big Sky Holdings, the biggest real estate firm in Bozeman. The Bitterroot Mountains loom outside my window like silent judges, their peaks dusted with early snow, reminding me how isolated we are out here in the American West.
I'm Emily Carter,
The escrow officer who spent 12 years making sure land deals close clean, ranches, farms, the kind of properties that families fight over for generations. It's not glamorous, but it's honest work, the kind that keeps the wild heart of this country intact. That morning, the air in the office carried the faint scent of pine from the forests beyond, but inside my head, a storm was brewing. Sarah Jennings, RCO, with her perfectly styled hair that screamed city slicker transplanted to the frontier, was leading the video call like she owned the place. She'd come from Seattle 5 years ago, all corporate polish and no respect for the slow, deliberate pace of Western deals. Emily, confirm the compliance note on Exhibit D4, she said, her voice dripping with that false sweetness that made my stomach twist. I knew it was blank. I'd checked it 3 times already. I muted myself, my heart pounding like a stampede. Why push this through? The deal was for an $18 million ranch acquisition, the old Whitaker spread. 5,000 acres of prime grazing land that had been in one family since the homestead days. Buyers from a big California syndicate, sellers a local ranching clan down on their luck. But Sarah had been rushing it, ignoring red flags. Deep down, I felt the weight of it all, the families involved, the land that wasn't just dirt but history. How could I let this slide? My mind raced. If I speak up, she'll bulldoze me like last time. But if I don't, what does that make me? A coward in cowboy country? Unmuting, I kept my voice steady, like the calm before a thunderstorm. It's still pending.
Sarah.
No compliance note from the buyer side. She laughed. That sharp, dismissive bark that echoed through my headset. Legal's on it.
Emily.
Don't hold us up over paperwork. We're closing by 5, internal deadline. The screen showed nods from the team, but I saw the junior lawyer, Alex Rivera, furrow his brow. He was new, fresh out of law school in Denver, still believing in the rules. Inside,
Guilt gnawed at me.
I'd built this protocol years ago, after a bad deal left a family homeless because of skip steps. Clause 9.3b was my safeguard, no release without full custodial sign-off. It wasn't about power, it was about fairness. Protecting folks from the greed that runs rampant out here, where land is gold. But Sarah treated me like a relic, a small-town gal not cut for big deals. Just the admin, she'd called me once in a meeting. It stung. Reopening old wounds from my own family's loss. Dad's ranch foreclosed when I was a kid because of shady paperwork. Was this revenge?
No.
It was justice. But the thought made my chest ache. What if pushing back ruins lives? As the call dragged on, I pulled up the change logs in my private terminal. There it was, a ghost edit from the buyer's side, removing the compliance reference. My breath caught. This wasn't oversight. It was deliberate. Sarah must know. Or worse, she orchestrated it for her bonus. The internal conflict tore at me. Speak now and face her wrath. Or let the system I created do the talking. I typed a discreet note in the shared doc. Pending per 9.3b. Sarah's voice cut in, sharp as a barbed wire fence. Emily. No need for comments. Legal approved. Focus. Laughter rippled through the call, but it felt like knives. I muted again, tears pricking my eyes. Why did they dismiss me? I'd given everything to this job, sacrificing weekends, Missing my niece's rodeo events. The loneliness hit hard. Out here, friends are few, and trust is earned slow. But in that moment, resolve hardened. I messaged Alex privately. Check clause 6. His reply came fast. Oh no. Good. Someone else saw it. The mountains outside seemed to whisper encouragement, but my mind screamed doubts. What if I'm wrong? What if this costs jobs? Sarah pushed ahead, her confidence a mask I wanted to shatter. But deeper, I pitied her, driven by ambition that blinded her to the human cost. Still, the fire in me grew. I wouldn't let this deal trample ethics. Not on my watch. The calls stretched like a long Montana winter, and with each passing minute, the knot in my gut tightened. Sarah's voice boomed through the speakers, rallying the team like a trail boss herding cattle. We've got taxes squared, valuations locked. Emily, your sign-off's just a formality. But it wasn't. Clause 9.3b loomed in my mind like a ghost from past mistakes. A reminder of the family I'd failed early in my career, their ranch lost to a rushed close. That guilt had shaped me, turned me into the guardian of these deals.
Now,
Facing Sarah's bulldozing, old regrets surged, mixing with fresh anger. How dare she risk it all for a deadline? I stared at my screen, the audit trail glowing accusingly. The unauthorized edit stared back, time-stamped 2 hours before the call. My hands trembled as I documented it. Metadata alteration detected. Compliance suppressed. Inside, a whirlwind of emotions raged. Fear of confrontation. Fury at being undervalued. Sorrow for the Whitaker family who might lose their legacy if this blew up. Out west, land isn't just property, it's blood.
sweat.
Generations of struggle against harsh winters and droughts. Sarah, with her urban polish,
Didn't get that.
she saw dollars, not dreams. Alex's message popped up. This is bad. Should I flag it? My reply, protocol will. I could picture his panic. The young kid realizing the big leagues played dirty. Part of me wanted to shield him, to say it would be okay. But the truth burned hotter. Sarah's arrogance had created this mess. And my silence wasn't weakness, it was strategy. But oh, the inner turmoil. Am I becoming like her? Manipulating from the shadows?
No.
This was protection, not payback. Yet the line blurred, and doubt clawed deeper. As Sarah glossed over exhibits, her laughter grating, I felt isolated. A lone rider on an endless plain. Memories flooded. Mom's tears when we lost our farm. Dad's broken spirit. I'd sworn to prevent that pain for others. Pushing send on the audit note felt like firing a shot in the dark. Necessary, but terrifying. The email winged out. Protocol locked per 9.3b. My heart raced. What if they override me? What if I lose my job? This life I've built in Bozeman? The escrow agent. Tom Harlan, a grizzled veteran from Wyoming, shifted on screen. I knew he'd see it soon. Sarah barreled on. Let's prep the wire. We're golden. Her desperation seeped through, cracking her facade. Inside me, pity stirred amid the rage. She was human, chasing success in a man's world out here. But her choices endangered real people. The conflict tore me. Forgive or fight. I chose fight, but with a heaviness that weighed on my soul. Tom cleared his throat. Hold up. We've got a lock. Chaos erupted softly. Whispers. Frantic typing. Sarah's face paled.
What?
Emily. Clarify. I unmuted. Voice steady, but emotions churning. Clause 9.3b requires my sign-off. It's incomplete. The silence hit like a blizzard wind. Accusations flew inwardly. Why didn't I warn her earlier? But she'd ignored me before.
Now.
The power shifted, and guilt mingled with triumph. Was this revenge or righteousness? The line thinned, my heart aching with the complexity of it all. The video grid pulsed with tension, faces frozen in disbelief as Tom reiterated the lock. Sarah's eyes darted, her composure fracturing like dry earth under summer sun. This is a hiccup. We can amend. But her voice wavered, betraying the fear beneath. In my chest, a storm of feelings collided, vindication laced with sorrow. I dreamed of this moment, standing up to the Sarahs of the world, but now it felt hollow. What about the families? The Whitakers counting on this sale to pay debts. The buyers investing dreams in Western soil. My actions rippled outward, and the weight crushed me. Stanton, the lead investor from Texas, leaned in, his drawl cutting sharp. Why ignore protocol? Sarah stammered. For efficiency. It slipped. Slipped? My mind screamed. You deleted safeguards. Rage boiled. But deeper. Empathy flickered. She was flawed. Pushed by corporate pressures that grind people down out here. I'd felt it too. The isolation of long hours in this frontier town, where community means everything, yet ambition isolates. Tears threatened. Was I the villain now? Freezing millions over pride? Alex unmuted. Voice shaking. Clause 6 confirms it. No oberaid. Murmurs grew. Someone whispered. She's toast, Mike hot. Sarah's face crumpled, and pity surged in me like a river after rain. She wasn't evil, just blind. My inner voice pleaded, end this gently. But protocol demanded truth. I spoke. We need revalidation. I can't sign altered docs. Stanton's nod sealed it. Emily oversees from here. Sarah's shock hit me hard, her world crumbling in pixels. Emotions overwhelmed, triumph, regret. A profound sadness for lost trust. Out west, we value handshake deals. Integrity over ink. I'd upheld that. But at what cost? As the call devolved, I muted, alone with my thoughts. The mountains outside mocked my turmoil, steadfast while I fractured inside. This wasn't just about a deal. It was my soul's reckoning, forcing me to confront how far I'd go for justice. Postcall. The office hummed with unspoken fallout, but inside me, emotions raged like a wildfire. Sarah's removal flashed on screen, her square vanishing like a ghost town abandoned.
No fun for.
Just gone. Relief washed over, but guilt followed, thick and choking. Had I destroyed her? She had a family too. Kids in school here, adapting to Western life. My mind replayed her dismissals, fueling anger. Yet now compassion bloomed. We're all fighting battles, hers for recognition, mine for respect. Emails flooded. Adopt your protocol as standard. Stanton's invite for oversight. Power shifted to me, but it felt burdensome. A crown of thorns. Sipping coffee in the break room, staring at ranch photos on the wall. Loneliness peaked. I'd won, but isolation deepened. Memories assaulted, childhood evictions, vows to protect others. This victory echoed hollowly. What lesson here? That revenge poisons the victor? Days blurred. I reviewed docs, uncovering more alterations, Sarah's desperate bids for speed. Confronting her privately. Emotions peaked. Why? I asked. She broke. Pressure from above. I thought I could fix it. Tears fell. Hers and mine. Vulnerability bridged us. She wasn't a monster. just human. Forgiveness stirred, raw and painful. We talked hours, unpacking ambitions.
Fears.
Out west, redemption comes slow. Like spring thaw, the deal rebooted under my watch.
Clean and fair.
But the real change? In me, emotions intensified, teaching that holding grudges erodes the soul. Sarah stayed, demoted, learning humility. Our bond formed, tentative but real. As the ranch deal closed cleanly weeks later, under golden Montana skies, emotions crested in a tidal wave. The Whitakers hugged me at signing, tears in their eyes, land saved from ruin, futures secured. Joy mingled with profound sorrow for the chaos I'd unleashed. Yet growth emerged. Sarah, now my collaborator, confided her regrets over coffee. I was wrong. Thank you for stopping me. Her humility mirrored my own. We'd both been reshaped. Inside, the storm quieted, replaced by peace. The lesson whispered gently, in the West's vastness. Forgiveness outlasts revenge, building bridges where walls once stood. Power isn't locking vaults, it's opening hearts. As I rode home through rolling hills, wind in my hair, gratitude overwhelmed for the pain that taught, the humanity reclaimed. Life's deals aren't just paper, they're souls intertwined, demanding grace above all.